Hey, this is James Donnelly, founder of TechMaster Services. Welcome to video 3 of the PMLab video course. It's only video 3, and you've already seen how to deploy your PMLab. You know what software to use, how to build a deployment share using the PowerShell script from techmasterservices.com. You've seen how easy it is to create the ISO that is the basis of your lab, right? You copy that ISO file to any machine that can host virtual machines, and in just a few mouse clicks, you've got your lab up and running, right? In this short video, you're going to see 2 Windows Server 2012 servers be deployed. One's the domain controller, the other's a member server. You're going to see 2 workstations, a Windows 8 and a Windows 10 workstation get deployed. They're all fully configured. The domain is configured. The servers and workstations are joined to the domain. They've got static IP addresses. Even has some simple applications installed. Right? Later on in this course, you're going to see how to add other applications to your machines, right? I demo it with Office 2013, and it automatically gets deployed and installed as well, right? This video shows you how easy it is to pop up your lab. Let's jump right into it now. So now we finally get to actually build the domain controller. We're going to launch Hyper-V, and then you can see the 4 machines. You have to start with the domain controller. So just double click on it or right click and hit connect, click the green button to start it up, press any key to boot off that ISO. Remember now this is automatically booting off that big 11.5 gig ISO you built earlier. It's going to launch the deployment toolkit because again that's in that big ISO you built. Okay, it'll stay on this screen for a couple of minutes. It'll look like it's doing nothing, but it's actually real busy. Once you get the list of machines you can install the domain controller first, click next. You'll watch the task sequences fly by. They will fly by for about 20 minutes. So I'll cut some of that out, cut out the boring parts. Just make the video a little bit faster. You can walk away from it. You don't need to click anything. It'll finish without you. Go for a coffee, go for lunch. It doesn't matter if it finishes without you completely. When you get back, it'll be done. The way you know it's done is it'll pop up a screen that will say it's done. Actually, it'll say configuration complete. We'll see that in just a second. So it's not finished until you see that sign pop up. There it is. Notice it says configuration completed and gives you the button to close. You can't actually close it until you log on to the machine. So click connect. Log on. The administrator password is in the documentation. Once you log on, now you can close the machine is complete sign and the domain controller is up and ready to go. And finally, we get to just confirm that the domain controller itself is all installed and ready to go, and it's got the services running on it. So we want to make sure that DNS is running. So we go into Administrative Tools, DNS, and take a quick peek to make sure that there is a forward lookup zone for Sandbox, sandbox.pri. You can see the host record for the domain controller itself. The other machines will automatically put their records in there once they're built. We can take a quick look at Active Directory, make sure that yes, indeed, Active Directory is installed. The task sequences also created that servers and the workstations OU. You can see the domain controllers in there. So Active Directory seems fine. So now all we need to do is go into Hyper-V and connect the other machines and start them up one at a time. And we can have the whole lab up and running. So I'll click the green button, press any key. Once that one is started up, then you can start up the other ones as well. I mean, as long as you've got enough RAM on your host machine, you should be able to run the other 3 installs all at the same time. The machine I'm running this on has got 32 gigs of RAM, and that's plenty. So now I've got all 3 of them started up. It'll stay on that Microsoft Deployment Toolkit page for a couple of minutes. Then just make sure you're selecting the right VM or the right radio button for each VM. So this is the member server, so I'll select the member server radio button, click next. And flipping over to the Windows 10 machine, so I select the radio button beside the Windows 10 client and click next. What do you think? Do the same thing on the Windows 8 client. Select the radio button, click next. Now all three of them are going. It'll take 20 minutes, half an hour for them to all be built. That's right, and you know they're built when you see the machine is complete message. So now you've seen how crazy simple it is to build your lab servers and workstations. You've seen the whole process end to end, right? You just install the free software from Microsoft, use a PowerShell script to create the deployment share, right? And copy your operating system files into that deployment share, right? You've seen how to update the media, right? It's within Microsoft Deployment Toolkit. You just, update media. It builds the ISO for you. And that ISO file really is the basis of your lab. You can copy that ISO file to a USB key and bring it to any workstation or server that can run virtual machines, and you've got a lab, right? You can use a second PowerShell script to create the virtual machines within Hyper-V. And then you just boot those virtual machines off the ISO file and choose which server or workstation you want to install. You've seen how simple it is. And the longest part of the whole process is just downloading the software. And hey, you only have to do that once. Now, the rest of the videos in this course show you how to customize your lab, starting with how to add another operating system to your lab, right? I mean, this lab is built using the evaluation versions of Windows Server 2012 and Windows 8 and Windows 10, right? In the next video, I'm going to show you how to add the eval version of Windows Server 2008. Now, it's the same process no matter what version of the operating systems you want to install. Whether it be the MSDN versions or the full retail versions, it really doesn't matter. And for those of you who are thinking like, well, wait a second, this is all about installing virtual machines. Can I use this for installing on real hardware too? Yes, you can. Right? Now you may have to deal with drivers and how to add all your drivers into your ISO file, and the lab doesn't include all that, and this course doesn't even include all that, but it actually is pretty simple. So if you look into the Microsoft Deployment Toolkit, you'll be able to figure out how to do it, right? It's not that hard. So again, it's the same process, whether it's the MSDN version or the full retail version, even if you're installing on real hardware, it's all the same process. So do give me some feedback on this video. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like. If you've got suggestions for improvement, do let me know. I am excited to learn better ways of doing stuff. And now on to the next video. And again, if you're watching this video from somewhere other than techmasterservices.com, you need to head over there so you can get the downloads I'm talking about and the rest of the videos and the PowerShell scripts for building your lab. Now on to the next video.